Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is the scary reason Kawhi Leonard will be the most dangerous man in the NBA next season. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Be sure to check out our Dreamerspro Short Clips channel, our Dreamerspro Podcast, which is linked in the description below. So let's just get straight into the content here. So I want to talk about this today because, as I said, the season is coming up sooner than we all expected. This video should be pretty relevant to you guys. The NBA season is coming back in December. At least that's what they've been saying a few days before Christmas. And as I said before, there are going to be a lot of storylines that are going to be happening next season. Now, in this particular instance, though, I want us to focus on why I'm saying that Kawhi Leonard will be the most dangerous man in the NBA coming next season. So let me just get into it. First of all, let's just do a little bit of history here. Y'all know 2 seasons ago, Kawhi Leonard was kind of exiled from the San Antonio Spurs, where he decided that he just couldn't play with that organization anymore because him and their medical team sort of had a complete fallout and a disconnect. So he was sort of exiled to the Toronto Raptors, essentially to another country. Got to that organization, an organization that was always on the heels of winning a championship, but they just couldn't get over the hump. They would get close, and for whatever reason, they just couldn't make it over the hump. Some people say it was a LeBron James factor in the Eastern Conference. Some people were saying, well, listen, DeMar DeRozan is just not the guy that you need to get you over the hump. There were so many different storylines. So when they got him, when the president of basketball operations, Masai Ujiri, decided that, listen, he wants to roll the dice on Kawhi Leonard, get him and trade him for DeMar DeRozan, send him to the San Antonio Spurs, it rolled a couple of eyebrows, including Kyle Lowry, yes, who was, at the time very close friends with DeMar DeRozan. So they got him out of there. They brought him in, and Kawhi Leonard, we knew that, listen, the guy was coming off of an injury, and he had some probably stipulations in his contract when he signed with the team that, listen, I won't be able to play as many games. And the Toronto Raptors embraced him and everything that came with him, including the fan base. The fan base showed the guy a lot of love, but the real test would have been how he performed in the playoffs, because essentially that's what they got him for. They knew that they needed to do something different in order to get to the promised land. So his value would be measured in how he performed in the playoffs. And when they got him, Kawhi Leonard had a sensational showing in the playoffs and really opened the eyes of a lot of people during that time. And I remember when they were playing against the Orlando Magic in the first round, after they dropped the first game, we did a video a long time ago where I predicted at that point that I said that the Toronto Raptors would end up going to the NBA Finals, winning it, and I predicted that Kawhi Leonard would be the Finals MVP, and all of those things happened. He had a sensational run against the Philadelphia 76ers, which had a lot of drama. You all remember that Game 7 buzzer beater. Then you remember him going up against Giannis Antetokounmpo, who a lot of people picked the Toronto Raptors to be underdogs, went in there, dropped the first 2 games, came back and won the next 4, went into the finals. A lot of people were picking the Golden State Warriors, Stephen A. Smith and others, but he still went in there, delivered the goods, and they still won. Shannon Sharp and all these guys picked the Golden State Warriors to win in the end, and nevertheless, the Toronto Raptors came out and shocked the world. So he did a good job and he won. And he sort of got the respect that he, deserved. Then what happened? He decided that he wanted to go home, right? He wanted to go back and play with an organization that was where he was from in California. So he had a really crazy offseason, with a lot of offseason movement, but he ended up signing with the Los Angeles Clippers, right? When he signed with them, he was able to somehow get Paul George from the Oklahoma City Thunder, who had just signed a 5-year deal, who was on his 2nd year of that deal, to sort of break his contract and come and sign with him. And it created so much hype in the basketball world, but especially in LA, because now we had 2 legitimate title contenders in the Western Conference playing in the same building in the same city, in the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers. And I had never seen that much excitement around the Clippers. Now, once they got him, they pretty much lived up to the hype. When they played the Lakers 4 times in this season, they split two out of the four meetings with the Lakers. They won the first two, dropped the next two. The final one was in the bubble, as y'all remember, in the Orlando bubble. So we remember that. Then the playoffs came along, and that's when things started to go south. The first round, y'all remember, they played against the Dallas Mavericks, in which case Paul George was sorely inconsistent, but nevertheless, they were still able to somehow come away with that win in that series in 6 games. They were able to, claw away, the Game 6 win and beat the Dallas Mavericks. Then they moved on to the second round where they were to play the Denver Nuggets. Going into that season, going into that series rather, everyone picked the Clippers. Everyone. Even all the people that were on TV shouting and all of this. That's why you got to laugh at people on TV, man, because you can't take these guys seriously. Even people that came at Kawhi Leonard picked Kawhi Leonard to win that series. So that's why you can't take people seriously. People just like to be funny. They'll make a prediction, lose that prediction, but because they didn't like that person in the first place, come out and say, "Oh, you see, I told you so." But so why didn't you pick them in the first place? So we remember that being part of the case. So they lost. So they ended up losing, and Kawhi Leonard had a horrible Game 7. Right, lost, and now all of a sudden, since he lost, Kawhi Leonard all of a sudden is whack. If you go back and look at his numbers, he had amazing numbers in the playoffs, but now he's trash. He's not that dude. I don't know what happened to him. How can you say he's the best player in the world? All of these crazy things, right? By crazy people, really, because you can't take these kind of people seriously, because there's a group of people out there that all they do is hate. Like, that's their job. They wake up in the morning, they put on their hating suit, and that's it. They just wait in the cut and wait for things to go wrong, and then they just jump out, they're wherever the hell they come from, and they start commenting on, "Oh man, look, I told you," but you can't take these people seriously. But there's been a lot of chatter around the league. A lot of NBA fans all of a sudden have been coming down on Kawhi. A lot of NBA sports analysts, Nick Wright, of course, Shannon Sharp, and others. "Yo, what happened to your man? I thought he was good," and this and this and this, forgetting that their favorite player, when he flamed out of the playoffs, they still held on to him and say, "Hey, listen, this is the best player in the world." So we know that people that came out kind of going at Kawhi had their own agendas, and I heard it all. We all heard it all, man. Kawhi Leonard sucks. He's not the man. He's not that dude. Even one clown came to the comment section and said, "Oh, if they play the Lakers this season, the Lakers are going to sweep." Everything was said about Kawhi Leonard, and I'm sure that he heard that. Now, here's the difference between him and other players, and the reason why I'm saying that he will be the most dangerous man in the league, right? It's not the guy with the loud mouth that's always clamping his fist and shouting and all of this. That's not the guy you need to be afraid of. That's just bloviating. And in most cases, those people that like to shout and scream, "Yo, this and this and this and this, I'm gonna mess you," those guys, what they're trying to do is intimidate you by talking, right? They feel like if they puff up and they make all of this noise, that's going to cause the other person to back down, right? It's the guy that doesn't say anything. The guy that's not rah-rahing, that's the guy you need to be worried about, because he's not going to talk. He's just going to come at you, and you're not even going to expect it. He's not into the shouting and all of this different stuff. He doesn't do that. Kawhi Leonard is not a loud guy. He's not going to come on Twitter and start posting, "Hey, man, this is going to be my comeback." He's not going to do all of that. Dude's not even on Twitter, right? He's not going to do any of that. You're not going to see him, "Oh, Kawhi Leonard had to sit down with Rachel Nichols, and I heard everything people were saying, and I'm going to come back for y'all. I'm going to show." He's not that type of dude. I believe Kawhi Leonard will heard everything that was said. He will internalize it, and then he'll come back and rip out people's throats this season. I'm not saying that, he's going to come back and win the championship. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he's going to let a lot of people know, especially those people that say, "Oh, he's not the dude," and this and this and this and then he's going to put all of these guys on notice, but he's not going to say anything about it. That's just the type of guy he is. I think this time, for the first time in his career, he's playing with something to prove. Well, not the first, because I believe that when a lot of people were talking crazy about him, a lot of people that said he sat out, he didn't want to play in San Antonio, he didn't want to play basketball and all of these different things. I think he shut a lot of those people up when he went to Toronto and won that title. Skip Bayless being one of them, because Skip Bayless said he was faking his injury and all this kind of crazy stuff. So he shut those people up, but now I think he's playing, now I think he has a motivation, and it's hard to beat somebody that's motivated, man. It's really, really hard to beat somebody that's motivated. It has nothing to do with talent, ability, and all of that stuff. If somebody's just more determined than you are, it is hard to beat a person that is determined, right? I would rather face somebody that's extremely talented, has all of these gifts, than go against somebody that's determined. Because the guy that may have all of these skills and all these talents, he may not be determined. He may feel like, because I have all of these talents and all of these different things, I'm supposed to win. You don't want to go against somebody that is determined, that feels like they've been slighted. And this is the reason why I think Kawhi Leonard is going to have a bounce back season with the Clippers, given the fact that you have a new coach, a new voice in the locker room. I think things are going to bode well for these guys. So this is my reason for picking Kawhi Leonard. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with me? Do you think that Kawhi Leonard will be the most dangerous man in the NBA, or do you think it'll be somebody else? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.